Good morning. It's July 3rd, and this is your daily brief in science. Here's everything you need to know. A recent genome analysis of an ancient Egyptian man has unveiled surprising genetic ties to Mesopotamia, revealing that 20% of his ancestry can be traced back to the Fertile Crescent. This remarkable discovery stems from DNA that was exceptionally well preserved due to unique burial conditions in a sealed ceramic vessel, allowing for a detailed examination of his genetics. Excavated in 1902, the skeleton survived the bombings of World War II and is currently housed at the World Museum in Liverpool, UK. Lead researcher Professor Pontus Skoglund noted that ancient DNA has the potential to deepen our understanding of historical interactions by merging biological data with archaeological findings. Daniel Antoine from the British Museum emphasized that this study provides the first direct genetic evidence supporting the previously suggested connections between ancient Egyptian and Mesopotamian cultures. Radiocarbon dating places the man's life between 2855 and 2570 BC, a transformative era recognized for monumental architecture, including the Great Pyramid of Giza. The individual likely worked as a potter, as indicated by signs of labor and arthritis, and stood approximately 1.6 meters tall with brown hair and eyes. Multi-isotope analysis of his teeth suggests he had a typical omnivorous diet, consuming wheat, barley, and animal protein, reflective of life in the Nile Valley. The Nile River is posited to have served as an ancient superhighway, facilitating cultural and population movements between Egypt and Mesopotamia. Potential explanations for the shared ancestry include historical explorations and the presence of nomadic populations that may have carried genetic material across regions. This period also coincided with the rise of Sumerian city-states in Mesopotamia, which were developing cuneiform writing as a significant cultural element. This research exemplifies 40 years of advancements in ancient DNA analysis, highlighting the role of genomic studies in unraveling human history. Astronomers have made a groundbreaking discovery that challenges long-held beliefs about the relationship between stars and their orbiting planets. Using the European Space Agency's Cheops mission, researchers have identified an exoplanet named HIP 67522b that appears to be causing radiation flares from its host star, HIP 67522. HIP 67522 is a young star, approximately 17 million years old, with a notably active magnetic field that leads to frequent flaring events. The planet, comparable in size to Jupiter, orbits its star at an exceptionally close distance, completing a full orbit in just 7 days. This proximity intensifies the gravitational interactions between HIP 67522b and its star. The study reveals that the rapid orbit of HIP 67522b disrupts the star's magnetic field, resulting in energetic flares that significantly impact the planet's atmosphere. These flares are thousands of times more energetic than solar flares and occur approximately once every 1 to 2 Earth days. This discovery marks the first direct observation of a planet inducing flares in its star, shifting the perspective on stellar activity from a one-way interaction to a more dynamic relationship. Described as a planet with a death wish, HIP 67522b's energetic flares are around 100 times more powerful than previously anticipated. Ekaterina Ilin, the first author of the study, noted that the planet triggers these flares at specific moments, resulting in eruptions that exceed the energy of the initial waves. The findings suggest that HIP 67522b could experience significant atmospheric erosion, potentially shrinking in size over the next 100 million years to become as small as Neptune. The research team emphasizes the need for further studies across different wavelengths to understand the energy dynamics involved and to investigate other similar star-planet systems. Future research aims to determine how common this phenomenon is and whether it can serve as a detection method for other self-destructive planets. This study was published in Nature on July 2, 2025, setting the stage for further exploration into the unique characteristics of HIP 67522b and similar star-planet interactions. A recent study from Japan reveals a significant connection between the eradication of Helicobacter pylori, commonly known as H. pylori, and a long-term decrease in gastric cancer incidence, especially among high-risk individuals. This research emphasizes the importance of evaluating gastric cancer risk in relation to conditions such as gastric mucosal atrophy and intestinal metaplasia before and after H. pylori eradication. The study, which has been covered by National Health Insurance since 2013, focused on patients with gastritis, gastric ulcers, and duodenal ulcers. Utilizing a retrospective cohort analysis of the JMDC claims database, the research involved over 17 million beneficiaries and tracked patients treated from early 2013 to late 2023. From the initial cohort, 148,489 patients were categorized based on their conditions related to H. pylori. The findings indicated that the cumulative probability of developing gastric cancer over a median follow-up of nearly 4 years was 0.44% for those with H. pylori-associated gastritis, 0.54% for gastric ulcers, 0.22% for duodenal ulcers, and 0.26% for both gastric and duodenal ulcers. Interestingly, there was a temporary increase in gastric cancer risk immediately following eradication treatment, with hazard ratios of 1.74 in the first year. However, this risk normalized to 0.44 after 6 years. Patients with H. pylori-associated gastritis and gastric ulcers showed a notably higher risk of developing gastric cancer, with hazard ratios of 2.03 and 2.37, respectively. Furthermore, individuals who were H. pylori positive or pepsinogen test positive without a history of eradication faced a 5.89 times greater risk of gastric cancer compared to those who tested negative. The study does note limitations, including reliance on self-reported eradication history and potential misclassification of treatment effects. Potential mechanisms linking H. pylori infection to gastric cancer development include DNA methylation and genetic mutations triggered by chronic infection. The study highlights the ongoing challenge of gastric cancer, which ranked as the 5th most common cancer globally in 2022 and was the leading cause of cancer-related deaths in Japan until 1998. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory, the world's largest telescope, has made headlines with its recent stunning close-up images of the Trifid Nebula, often dubbed the Cotton Candy Nebula for its vibrant pink and blue hues. This remarkable image was produced from over 678 exposures taken over a 7-hour period in May 2025, utilizing the Legacy Survey of Space and Time camera, which boasts an impressive resolution of 3,200 megapixels. The Trifid Nebula, also known as Messier 20, is located approximately 5,000 light-years away from Earth in the constellation Sagittarius. This dynamic region is characterized by new star formation and intense radiation that shapes surrounding gas and dust into complex structures. Notably, the Trifid Nebula is situated near the Lagoon Nebula, which is about 4,000 light-years distant. The observatory's long-term mission is set to commence later in 2025, with plans to conduct nightly sky scans for a decade. This mission aims to study cosmic phenomena, including dark energy and dark matter, and intends to create a comprehensive survey of the southern hemisphere's night sky. The observatory plans to generate more data in 1 year than all prior optical astronomy combined, imaging each part of the sky approximately 800 times. Brian Stone, acting director of the National Science Foundation, highlighted that the observatory is expected to gather more data about the universe than all previous optical telescopes combined. In its first week of operation, the observatory has already discovered over 2,100 new asteroids and is anticipated to uncover millions more, including supernovas and potentially hazardous near-Earth objects. The released images of the Trifid Nebula showcase its vibrant colors, with pink representing an emission nebula, blue indicating a reflection nebula, and dark regions symbolizing dark nebulas. A new study has unveiled critical insights into how modified RNA can avoid detection by the innate immune system. Researchers from LMU, led by Professors Veit Hornung and Thomas Carell, have discovered that modified RNA containing pseudoridin is processed differently by lysosomal enzymes, which in turn affects its recognition by key immune receptors. Published in the journal Cell, this research highlights the role of toll-like receptors TLR7 and TLR8, which are essential for identifying foreign RNA and initiating immune responses against pathogens. The study reveals that the presence of pseudouridine in synthetic mRNA leads to reduced recognition by these receptors, explaining the lower inflammation levels associated with modified mRNA. This finding is particularly relevant for the development of RNA therapeutics and mRNA vaccines, including those targeting COVID-19. The authors stress the significance of understanding how pseudouridine influences immune responses, suggesting it could lead to advancements in targeted RNA-based drugs. Pseudouridine is a prevalent modification in vertebrate RNA, and its incorporation into synthetic mRNA has been shown to mitigate immune reactions, thereby facilitating vaccine development. Overall, these findings lay a crucial groundwork for further exploration of RNA-based drugs and deepen our understanding of the immune system's interaction with the body's own RNA. This has been your daily brief in science. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates via email at www.brief.news. For more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.